What's up, queers? It's Pride Month, so you got 30 days of being gay and all that stuff, whatever that is. Which you don't have that 365 days of the year in a Western country like America where you're not stoned to death. You're not persecuted, you're not thrown in jail for being sodomites, and you have legal marriage here. People actually fight for equal representation of people in movies and stories and things just because you're gay. So I don't know, it's just kind of weird to have a month, but I think it's like that for black history too. But I'll get into the rant after this. You saw it whenever I got it hooked up. It's your boy. Political Dank House is where you can find me. It's trying to make a conglomerate of things. Aaron Humperdinck, you know my real name, Dylan James. Twitter, I've got 2 accounts, just cause, but I use the one on the left. The other one might be for art one day, but who knows? If people like art and not my views, and they can handle it, that's fine. It's probably the way it should be. But LGBTFO, what happened to LGBT recently? Nothing. I mean, it's their month. This is a big time. But it was making me think. I was on Twitter and I saw a hashtag and it said Pride Month. And I thought it was weird that hashtag Pride, of all the things that you associate one emotion, I guess you would call it, or attribute. I don't think it's attribute. Bear with me, you know what I'm trying to say. It's completely secluded to one segment of people, like a very small segment of the entire United States, let's just say, even smaller in the world. Because remember, other parts of the world are less progressive than the United States and the Western world. It's the same thing with power. Usually when you think of anything power, and I'm thinking in the positive sense, right? Because power, to some people, if they want to argue power comes from being able to force, use force, that's a negative thing. Same thing with pride. People say pride comes before a fall. Don't get too proud. Don't get too cocky, kid. That's pride. You start desensitizing yourself to, there's somebody out there that could stomp me in a fight, someone that could beat me in a debate, someone that can outdraw me out, whatever. And so, but it's used in a positive context whenever it's talking about fagdom, And I think it's the same with like a black power. You say power, you usually mean black power, But when they say white power is, white supremacists. Which you could call it white supremacists. I'm sure there's people that think whites are supreme that use the term white power or power to white people. But to me, black power, I think, whatever. I don't go, blacks, whatever. Oh, I'm black supremacist. If blacks want to take care of themselves, I think that's fine. I'm not invested in like metropolitan lifestyle where everybody's forcing each other to be desegregated, forcing people to watch TV shows they don't want. Like in Alabama's keeping it right. They got based, and this is part of the reason why people don't like, or people like to utilize the federal government across 50 states. When Obama legalized gay marriage, I said the only thing I had, and I've always been Christian, but the only thing, even when I was socially more libertarian, was I just wish he would have let the states figure it out. And I go, oh, you're such a homophobe. I thought I knew you. Why did you have the rainbow filter over your face, you dummy? Just like somebody like, I bet you want gays to not be happy. A bunch of crazy shit. I thought I knew you. What the fuck does that mean? Everybody thought they knew somebody until they learned something else about the person. All the designer friends I had went nuts. And it's like, I was socially conservative all through the 2 years of art that I did in graphic design. It never came up. And I'm different, and I think a lot of people that lean my way are different because you won't know a lot of stuff about a person like that because we don't bring it up. It just, if it comes up, it comes up. But the reason they do that is because they know that California will never be Alabama, and it'll never be Alaska, which will never be New York or Maine. While, I mean, Virginia, sad to say, is supposed to be down here in the South with us, but in North Carolina. But Grant Northam is pushing that abortion shit. To go back to other stuff I was talking about in other videos, you have people like that, and California is always. Yeah, I know you got conservatives out there and people love the right. You know who I'm talking about, but California leans that way a lot, and then for people want to cry about Georgia and Alabama, you fighting abortion and saying it should be illegal, you should get in trouble, even if you're trying to go to another state for an abortion, which I agree with. I think you should have to register another house and prove that you live in another place. You've got 9 months. You've got 9 months to figure out how to get your situation settled up to where you can be in that new state that supplies abortion. Because you'd just be an abortion refugee and you should get in trouble. I mean, if abortion really is to die for like that, to die for, more like to kill for, then go to the other state. That's the reason we have it set up where all the states can do their own thing. But people don't like that because they know that somewhere like Alabama banned the showing of PBS's Arthur, the new Arthur episode where Mr. Ratburn got married to a guy. And my thing is, you can imply that people are fruity and, well, we should have seen signs and the top 5 moments where we should have known that Mr. Ratburn was gay. The thing was, you're pushing gay marriage on people, which is straight political, no straight, but straight up political. And people say, well, you show marriages on regular marriages. They don't say regular marriages because they think gay marriage is regular, but you push this on whatever. No, people push family structure. They don't walk in and say, hey Arthur, my mom, your mom and I, who are married, decided that the best thing we should do as a married couple, traditionally married couple, we should do is send you to school, because all the traditionally married parents like us are doing it. They don't keep pushing it. It's just implied, hey, that's a straight family because they've got a mom and a dad. But see, when you make something about marriage and walking down the aisle and arm in arm, two damn different species of rats and an aardvark, going down and to defend the gays some, which I'm not against them. Like, I'm not for like, kill the gays, jail them, this and that. But I do think it's an addiction to sex, just like I would think that a lot of people my age and people I've come into contact with, I think they're whore makers. I think they're addicted to sex, and with being gay, it's about sex. People like to say, well, it's just about who you love. Well, that's not true. Because I can love my brother, my legit brother. I can also love someone like my brother, a friend or whatever. But I'm not having sex with my brother and I love him. What intrinsically makes someone gay is people say they're attracted to the opposite sex, but attraction's not love. You see what I mean? You don't have to have a boner to love your brother, like lay your life down for your friend. You don't have to have a boner while you die. Love and being attraction, it has to do with sexuality and wanting to reproduce. That's why over time women and people modified the makeup and learned to dress certain ways, and we have social ways that we coerce each other into getting what we want. It's about attraction. They do it in the animal kingdom, is to reproduce, but that's different than love. I would say that sex isn't love, really. You can have love, you can have sex with someone you love, but the act itself is not love. Because if sex in itself was love, then these porn stars would be getting married. Because they have enough sex for all of us to be in love. But that's the reason why I disagree with it, is because what intrinsically makes someone quote unquote gay, or what paves the way for it, quote unquote gay movement, is derived around sex. What you think of sex, who you want to have sex with. But I thought it was wild, and I've noticed this even before I was political. I was a young lad, and I noticed that now, up in this point, gays own the term gay, which meant happy, right? Oh, they're so gay. Someone fruity would come by and it's, and I know that it's not like that, but they get depressed too. But what people would always think they love being around gay guys because gay guy would act like a woman, and it was just so full of energy and that's different and whatever, right? And they always seem happy and they're chatty, you know. Simpsons, or not Simpsons, Flintstones will have a gay old time. They used to mean happy. They used to mean carefree. That's what a lot of people thought about gays, you know, especially with the sex life, because they were known to have a lot of infidelity problems. And even if you're gay, you can stay with one person, but there's studies that show that there's a lot of people, and it's men especially, gay men, gay women. There's a lot of physical abuse because it's about, and that's with or without taking hormones, because you have a power dynamic of someone who's trying to be in what would traditionally be a male role, and so they advocate that with force. They, you know, with a woman, like to a man, think about it in a fight. I don't condone people fighting each other at all, men or women, but a woman would hit a man harder than a man could hit a woman. Her trying and him not trying. Same with kids. Women are known to overpunish kids sometimes with physical, because there's the compensation. Same with lesbian couples when they're trying to establish who might be the male or who needs to be the leader or what leadership is to them. But I went off on that jag because to me the two males gay is I think they're addicted to sex, because I think men by nature are meant to reproduce with women, of course, but that feeds into sexuality, and people could say over time, biologically, all this stuff. I'm one of those that's, you know, we're in a fallen state type of thing, and that's what makes people confuse sex with love, but people are geared towards sex. Humans are. At this point, we can argue about how, but we are. And so with gay men, they're more likely to be experimental with other men and not hold a relationship with another man, or be, you know, I want to say swinger, but you know what I mean, swinging with other men, having orgies and all this stuff. They've already opened that door with the sexual proclivities of being gay, which is you know, I would say it's a sin, but I think that a lot of things are sin, drinking and all this stuff, right? And it always comes from looking in yourself and feeling a void with something: sex, drugs, alcohol. There's a lot of men out there that associate, you know, sex with love, and they're trying to get women. I've got friends that are like that, and I try to tell them all the time, you're being controlled by women that don't like you and don't respect you because of the way you treat sex. It's supposed to be sacred, and it's they're just as addicted to sex. So it has nothing to me going, God hates fags or queers go to hell, right? It's people that are addicted to sex, and so it's just dangerous for a person to be addicted to sex, I believe. Because, of course, diseases and things that people can get in straight relationships. But you're trying to fill that void. My friends, even my straight friends, are trying to fill that void. Like a straight friend would, they usually had bad mamas, and they're looking for female love, and they don't know what female love is. And don't get gross and Sigmund and Freud on me, motherfuckers, literally motherfuckers. Because it's just like with girls, you know, they say they got daddy issues. It's a stereotype. It's true. If a girl is raised by a father that shows her how a man should act, how he should treat her, what she can and can't get away with, and I got a lot of shit on Twitter. What do you mean men should tell women what to do? You know in your heart, because just like when you're looking for friends, women look for men, and they want one that will stand up to them sometimes and push back on them, because they know they won't always be right. And if they did, then that would fall into what we're talking about now, Pride Month. Like, that's the feminist thing of, well, you can never question a woman on anything. That's pride, is it not? Thinking you're always right by default is what that would be, and that's pride. And then it's talking about the word gay is, you know, was happy, and now it's sexual, whatever. Queer, it used to mean odd, and I thought it was funny because you can't win with these people. It's like these people, you know, go ahead and flip out over that, but you know what I mean. It's like I think Nick Fuentes once said it in a clip, but you know, he's speaking on something we all know. It's funny with blacks here in America. You say, well, the thing about blacks in America is that when they go to, we're not black, we're African American. You call us African American, you go, oh, okay, well, you know, go on throughout your speech, and then you say, but the interactions between police and African American, I've never been to Africa. What you talking about? I'm black. I've never been to Africa. Which is it? You know, which is it? So now it's the same with the homosexuals and the gays. you say, they come out and they say, oh, we're so queer. Queer meant weird, in South, my grandparents and all that queer, Queer, it used to mean weird, just like eclectic kind of. Well, that's odd, that's queer. And it meant odd. They embraced that. That's what they wanted to be called. They were like if think of Freddie Mercury, from Queen, think of Elton John. They were flamboyantly gay. They were dressed all, flashy and all this stuff, and they were quote unquote queer. They were odd. They were flashy. They were, wow, that's so overt. That's in my face. And you know what I mean. Not negative or positive. That's in my face. It's brash. And then when people start calling them queer, but I don't know. I guess it's based off who you don't like. When people start calling them queer, oh, how dare you call us queer? How, we're just the same as everybody else. We're not weird. Weird implies that we're not normal. You guys chose the term queer because it was weird, and that was your stick. I'm coming out. I'm coming out of the closet because I'm the outlier. I'm different. I'm whatever. And that's what I think is weird about all these stupid movements now is that, oh, we're different than the cis white male. And then they all glump them together in some neo-Marxist bullshit where you're all just one clump of a bunch of identity groups. And it's, oh, we're all the same. Your struggle's my struggle, brother. And you're like, that defeats the purpose of what you just came from. I'm queer, I'm different, I'm odd, I'm out there, I'm zany. And they didn't stop at that. They took the rainbow, which was a symbol, love it or hate it. And of course, I'm Christian. You know where I'm at. You can disagree with me, but I don't lie to you about what I believe. It was God's promise, the rainbow is that he would never flood the earth again. And here we are with the streets flooded with degeneracy for over a month. And it's funny because people say, oh, it's June now, right? We've had 5 months, January, February, March, April, May. Let's just take 2019. We've had 4 or 5 months of gay this, gay that. And President Trump, he's advocating for let's not execute gays, which is fine. Or he's going across, people want to talk about stay out of other countries' businesses. Or business, lefties do because it was Trump. But when Trump said something about we're gonna dictate the laws of what gay marriage, and we're gonna help make gay marriage legal and less frowned upon everywhere across the world, literally globo homo, everybody's fine with it then because it's progressive. But that's meddling in other countries, way they run. And because if some of these places were to advocate for America to bring marriage back to what it's supposed to be traditional, everybody here in America will be lighting their hair on fire. But it's different when we do it, and we'll go out, sir, yes sir, send our poor troops out there to die for gay rights. You know what I mean? And I know that sounds harsh, but their job is to protect the country, and how we figure it out, what we want to do, while we're protected, and how we want to run the country is fine. But it's gotten out of hand for me to have something like that. And they're flooding the street, literally with the parades. They're flooding the streets, and you go, so everybody's like, okay, now we're in Pride Month, and you go, Pride Month. It's been 5 months of Trump doing this right, and then other people saying we're advocating, and this is the first gay senator, and Chips Ahoy does and people can say, well, that's a transsexual, that's different than gay. Not really. The more people they add to the LGBTQ, and the name of this title is BTFO, because go on, I just think it's funny to blow themselves the fuck out, because nothing really goes together. They keep inheriting all these groups, and it has to do with more about being prideful of just who you are, which is dumb, because there's certain people out there that are proud because of, that's like hashtag Pride Month, thank God that I'm proud to be an American that, Jesus died for, and I'm waiting for people to shit on me for that, because you can't have pride in certain things. I wish they would just come out overtly. They used to say Gay Pride Month, and now they don't, because there's all these other QP, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So I guess they don't want to be exclusive. But they don't even call it gay pride anymore. They use the term pride. See, every time they're taking a little bit off and off. Now gays own the monopoly on the term pride. And the gays took an entire month of June. So, take that, blacks, you poor fuckers. with your February, you get the shortest month of the year. I mean, they did you dirty. And June may only be a 30-day under hump. You know, the on your knuckles, everybody's done January, February, March. You know, 30, 31, 30. You know. It may be the under hump June. You know, compared to a July or a May, which have 31. But February only has 29 at most, and that's only every 4 years during a leap year. You know, every time I think of leap year, I can't help but think of my papa, you know, because that was when he was born. And so, shout out to you, Papa. I can't wait to get to heaven and escape the gayness of earth, because it's definitely spreading. Not only have they taken the entire month of June, 1/12 of a year. Remember, a month is 1/12 of a year. It's a 365-day year, and 1/12 of that is, you know, strictly devoted to gays. I mean, most stuff is like push gay agenda with all these commercials and all that, and Netflix and all the propaganda. But they've claimed stake to the word pride in general, as I've said. So if you're proud to be an American, like I said, chimp out. No, this isn't pride for you. This is pride for people who have been traditionally stereotyped and marginalized. You don't think Christians have been marginalized? You don't think Americans have been marginalized? You don't think Christians in their own country get marginalized now for saying, hey, we might need to regulate the borders? Or there's an underlying thread in a human being that makes them intrinsically American, like things that you believe. Oh, you can't say that. You can't take pride in your country. What about all the people America has bombed? And what about all the kids at the border wanting in? And you can't be proud to be an American when we're countries run like that. It's just so stupid. You're not allowed to have pride. Only gays. Everyone all of a sudden understands again when it's somebody like me that says, I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to be a follower of Jesus. I'm proud of my country for how far we've come. Even though there's things about it that, you know, like right now I'm parsing out, you know, whether I believe it. I'm proud that we've got it figured out to where for now we can at least talk about it. You be proud of your son. I'm proud that I've been given, you know, sons and daughters that turned out the way they did. Parents are. But if you're proud for something that's traditional like that, all of a sudden, all these gays and LGBTQ plus P, whatever, they all of a sudden realize again that pride is a bad thing in most cases. And when it's someone they don't like talking about it, pride that is, they get that. But the gays need more pride for some reason. Remember it coming out, and all the other things I've said. Now we're queer. Now we're the zany ones. We're flashy. You know, the world fucking loved Queen. Everybody went to go see that movie. They even went through seeing the gay scenes and all that stuff. So you're not marginalized. I think what people want to do is think they can regulate their conscience out of existence because they have something that's missing, like I said earlier, and they're trying to fill the void or punish people that, you know, just like me. All I do is believe that that's not healthy. It's not a healthy lifestyle. I'm not wishing disease on them. I'm not wishing hell on them or anything. I'm just saying that it's like doing drugs. No one gives a shit when you talk about someone doing drugs. You say that's gonna hurt your body. You know, addiction to drugs like addiction to sex. You're not gonna fill said void. You're not gonna get happiness. You're actually hurting someone by saying, yeah, you can fuck your way to happiness. All these game artists, they get all these women every night, but they have no loyalty. They have no offspring. They have no greater cause to spread their lineages. And it gets to people. People like to think that it doesn't, but, you know, to use the phrase again, proud, you know, if you're going to be proud, what do you have to be proud of? You know, oh, look, this is how many men I blow in the streets or whatever, right? My dad, you know, fuck you, Dad, I'm going to be with this woman and I'm a woman, you know. Take that, society. It's just so dumb. You don't see a lot of straight people out in the streets saying, yeah, you know, banging each other, saying, yeah, straight pride. And if they did, it'd be reactionary because that was first. People say, well, that's because, you know, people thought that straight was normal and this and that. No, it's because people went with what worked, and what preserved society over time was having kids, and straight people have kids. And a lot of stuff that I don't agree with, like when people say, "Oh, you think gays should be able to adopt?" They're not this traditional family setup. Well, what about single mothers? I think that that's wrong too. You shouldn't have bring your child or continue to bring your child into the world and this is not, oh, so you're for abortion? Don't be a fucking idiot. You shouldn't be raising your kid as a single parent in any way, and of course, unless someone is murdered or killed, that's the spouse. But two men and two women is the same as just a woman by herself or a man by herself. It's not a balance of the two people that made the kid genetically, emotionally, spiritually. And that, to me, that makes a lot of kids have an identity crisis. And that helps them become addicted to more things and more susceptible to evil in the future, or being attacked by evil. And like I said, gays, oh, we need pride. Why do you need pride? Seems to me that there's enough people going around saying there's not enough gays in this straight show. How come Spider-Man's not gay? Let's make Iron Man gay. Let's not make our own gay superhero. Let's take a superhero and make them gay. Let's make Mr. Ratburn gay. Let's just make everything gay, right? We're gonna beat you with our rainbow dicks, right? And people are trying to teach gay sex with kids that are 5. People say, "Oh, you're just mad because it's gay sex." No, I don't want people learning about straight sex, traditional sex, at that age. What are they gonna do? They don't even care about cranking on their little pecker at 5 years old. And that's when you start thinking, this is nothing to do with love. This is nothing to do with marriage. This is pushing an agenda. This is pushing something that's dangerous. And I'm talking about the lobby. If you're a bunch of gay people, off doing your thing, whatever, or even if you're somebody like I said with the drugs, you're doing things that even I don't condone, but you're not going out driving, being stupid. Sadly, you're in your room with yourself. I'm not talking shit to you, because you're not the dude getting up like even a Joe Rogan. Yeah, man, shrooms, man, acid, man, DMT, man, bro, weed. You're not out there advocating for it. Same thing I say about abortion. There's people that you may know that say, well, they were in a situation where they've had one. You go, God, that sucks. And you might even think of it somewhat in a different way or take that into consideration. But if they're not advocating it anymore, then I can forgive people. And not that it's up to me to forgive. You can say, yeah, I hate that happened to you. I hate that you were allowed to be tricked into that and think that was empowering or that was the right thing to do. Or I hate that you're in a situation where you regret something that you did for the right reasons. But if you're somebody that's gonna say, well, I had to do it, it was such a terrible thing, and then every time somebody says maybe we should regulate abortion or tell people that it's not the way, how dare you tell women what to do with their body? Because have you actually changed? No, you haven't actually changed. So you're talking about how bad it was that you went through it, just like with the gay thing. Oh, it was such a terrible lifestyle. Being gay is just, I was judged, and I had sex with so many different people, and I had daddy issues. I was trying to fill a void, and they talk about how bad it can be. Some people will, that become, realize that they weren't gay and things like that. It'd be like you saying, yeah, now let's go, say this about whatever, and then you'll hear them go, well, no. Well, you remember how I said I regret it and all that, but don't you tell people that they can love who they want? It's like, do you know what I mean? Someone that's speaking against something that they've done in the past and how they're different now. But if you use that same logic to say, yeah, maybe we should say maybe marriage is for recreation or recreation of generations, rearing children, pushing the generation forward of kids, the next generation. Matrimony between man and woman, and go, oh, don't say that, don't whatever. No, it coincides with what you just said about whatever you said you tried didn't work for you, so it was inherently the wrong way. And then I go and take that information to say the same thing, and well, you're bullying gays. You're telling them that their lifestyle is wrong. No, I'm telling them there's a better lifestyle. I'm not going around saying God hates fags. Like I've said, I'm not saying let's burn gays at the stake, let's throw them off buildings like in the United Arab Emirates. And that's what I thought was so damn funny about all these stupid celebrities whenever this had to do with abortion, but it goes with stuff like gay marriage, easy. They all the time say, well, California says, well, if Georgia and Alabama want to be that way, we just won't which are, like I said earlier in the video, they're reactions to what New York and other places like Virginia are already doing. So it started. Those are just reactionary. That's what happens when you push too far left. You're going to get that overcorrection. But they were talking about, we're boycotting Georgia, we're boycotting Alabama, we will never film there again. You're filming in the United Arab Emirates. What do you think they do to gays over there? What do you think they do to women over there? What do you think in Egypt, where people film stuff like National Treasure and all this crap, right? Abortion is illegal. I'm sure people film in Israel all the time. Abortion's illegal there, as can be. So it really has nothing to do, like Jericho Green, who I like, said, it has to do with the fact that Georgia and Alabama are states of the United States, which Trump has dominion over right now, de facto as president. Federally, that is. And colloquially speaking. Because like I said, I don't think Washington, D.C. should say, Alabama, on behalf of California, you have to do this. But you know what I mean? But they look at it and they go, well, Alabama, that's I think USA, who's President Trump? Trump. Because they don't care about United Arab Emirates. They're not going, well, we can't tell them because they're other countries. Yes, you can. Why would you, as a representative of the United States in California, like celebrity, but representing, this is what we stand for, this is what America's about. Why wouldn't you go up against other countries when you say, well, California is whatever, and Alabama, you suck, you should be, why can't you just graduate up from country to country? It's so you really don't care, is what it is. It's to get at somebody like a Trump or somebody like me who just disagrees with you. Not calling for violence. Hell, you don't even see me out in the street marching to have stuff overturned. I'm just trying to change the intrinsic in someone's psyche, in their spirit, what would be best for them. Because, if there was a law that legalized murder, there's still a lot of people out there, and probably most, that wouldn't go out there and say, well, let me just kill someone just because it's legal, just because I can. A lot of people wouldn't. And same with abortion. People say, oh, they're going to get them anywhere. I believe that there's people that will find a way to do whatever they want. Same with drugs and all that. So it's actually a spiritual and a mind thing, and that's what I'm trying to do. But the reason why I was saying that was, it's just so funny to see that they won't stop filming in those places. And they're 10 times worse, like I said, than over here. What they think's bad over here. You just have states that disagree on how things should run. Over there, you can't even talk about what you guys think, what you're trying to push over here. And somebody like Trump's way more socially liberal than me. Has Caitlyn Jenner using his bathroom and all that. First time transitioning. Old Bruce, he used the Trump bathroom. I remember that. And like I said, the gay marriage thing. And, well, we're doing this, we're doing that. It wouldn't even be like a thing for me. And with this tranny story time, people wouldn't be, oh, these are getting shut down. I'd probably be gelling people, to be honest with you, people that were trying to corrupt the youth. If somebody was trying to teach your 3-year-old or 4-year-old or 5-year-old, like how they do tranny stuff, right? Tranny story hour, that's a lifestyle choice. People can, this isn't talking about gay. People try to say, well, I was born this way. It's a choice, but the transsexual or the drag queen is by default a choice because you're choosing what clothes to put on. And even that's kind of weird, because the people that say there's no such thing as gender, how would you quote unquote look like a man or a woman without giving them gender roles? Same with, like, crossing from man to a woman, there's no point if there's no line that divides the two, if they're all the same. But to me, it's like you wouldn't be in there teaching 5-year-olds how to roll up a joint. You just wouldn't. You wouldn't be teaching them how to have sex. You wouldn't be teaching them what a drag queen was. Hell, you wouldn't be showing them what cocaine is. When you're in 3rd grade, or even, you wouldn't be saying, well, this is the reason why we're fighting in Syria, because Assad wants this and Russia wants that. And see, there's Hezbollah, and you don't concern kids with things like that, whether it's sexually, physically, geopolitically. And that's what I think's rough. And a lot of these commercials are doing that too, the propaganda. But they can say, well, Donald Trump or white Americans, etc., and pride. And what about them when they exude pride? Like I said, if you got pride for anything that they don't confirm is okay, what about all the white pride that people do in Donald Trump and blah, blah, blah? And I'll say internet social media companies, brands, and the entire USA government are not dedicating an entire month to Trump or someone you chastise for being proud of an accomplishment. Like when people say, well, Trump's proud of America, Trump's proud of himself. They're not saying, here's Trump month, here's so-and-so month, here's Christian month, here's straight people month. So the whole argument about, well, when your person has pride, it's different, isn't it? They're not glorifying Trump saying, I'm proud, China has bending the knee in this tariff war. I'm proud of these people. I'm proud of these soldiers. Hell, on Veterans Day, we just have Veterans Day. Don't you think we'd have a Soldiers Month before we had Gay Pride Month? You know, now that I'm thinking about it, that's kind of weird. We have Mother's Day, Father's Day. Why wouldn't there be a Mother's Day, a Mother's Month, and a Father's Month? Why can't there just be a gay day? Hell, it rhymes better. And gays are about that life where stuff is like posh and stuff. Gay day. It rhymes. No other position, no other sexual thing, no other has an entire month. And people say, if you're born gay, so supposedly, how can you take pride in the quote-unquote way that you were born? Like, you can accept it, you can embrace it, but it's not like, oh, I'm proud of whatever. There was nothing to accomplish if you were born the way you are, because you didn't do anything to earn being born the way that you are. So how can you take pride in being born that way if white people who were born white can't do the same? Like I just said in that example, if white people who were born by no means of their own white, like you think you were born no means of your own gay, but you can be proud of that, the way you were quote-unquote born, how come a white person can't be proud of being white? It's the same thing. You can't do the same. So if not, then you have to say that, your sexual lifestyle is a choice. You weren't born that way. Because if whites can't do it, then that would mean that being white is a choice. You know how stupid that sounds. So that would be like them saying white is a choice and being born gay, which is the exact opposite. You choose who you have sex with and who you're attracted to, or you gravitate towards that way. People say, well, you can't help who you love. You should say attracted to. But to me, I think you're attracted to sex. You're not attracted to who it is. And that goes for straight people too. That's why somebody can have sex with like a 10, loosely, a 10, then a 6, then an 8. Then, and fluctuating, oh, she's fat, oh, she's skinny, she's whatever. Different tastes of women, like blonde, brunette, whatever. It's like they don't have a uniform. They're just addicted to sex with the woman. That's what I think has to do with all these sexual preferences too. And they even say sexual, it's in the name. And so you guys tell me what you think. LGBTFO, like, seriously. Just remember, Penny shaded, nothing wrong. Bringing in the Havoc Hellies. Just remember, all June, to be proud. Be proud that you're one of a political dank house, the Froggers. You damn Spurgs. Peace out, queers.